Welcome back for another week of daily readings in the Psalms, and we're going to start this week with Psalm 50. So let's read that now. Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who may live on your holy hill? He whose walk is blameless and who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from the heart and has no slander on his tongue, who does his neighbour no wrong and casts no slur on his fellow man, who despises a vile man but honours those who fear the Lord, who keeps his oath even when it hurts, who lends his money without usury and does not accept a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things will never be shaken. Well, this psalm starts with that question. Who is it? What sort of person is it that can enter and remain in the presence of the Lord? And it ties two things together. It ties the belief and morality. Belief, those who fear the Lord. And morality, those whose walk is blameless. And then it goes on to list a whole list of categories of what sort of this that would mean, what belief means and what to be blameless means. And in a sense it ties together the whole of the commandments in the same way that Jesus in Matthew 22, when questioned by the Pharisees, tied all the commandments together into two answers. They say, which is the greatest commandment? Jesus replies, firstly, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and secondly, love your neighbour as yourself. And this psalm says very much the same. Who is it that is acceptable to the Lord? Someone who loves the Lord with all their heart and loves their neighbours themselves. And you might rightly ask, well then, that sets such a high target. How can we enter the Lord's presence? The answer is that we can do that by the blood of Jesus. Jesus' sacrifice means that we have his righteousness and can enter into the Lord's presence. And then, by his Spirit at work within us, conforming us to his likeness, we can remain there. You see, for his people, it isn't that God looks into someone to see if they have these qualities so they may enter the presence. It's that God, by his Spirit, creates these qualities in our lives. Bit by bit, slowly, he does this. C.S. Lewis, in his book The Great Divorce, writes that everyone is either moving towards God or away from him. It's very, very hard to stay stationary for long. And as God's Spirit works in us, we can move nearer and nearer to him. The most challenging part for me of this psalm is the second half of verse 4, which says that he who keeps his oath, or in the New Living Translation, his promise, even when it hurts. How many times have we made a rash promise to pray for someone, or to visit someone, or call them, and then failed to keep that? That should challenge us to do two things. Firstly, to be cautious about making a promise we're unlikely to keep. But secondly, that when we do make that promise, we make every effort to honour it. Maybe at this time of lockdown there's someone you've said you'll pray for, or someone you'll contact, or ring them back, and you haven't yet done that. Then maybe this is a good time this day to fulfill your promise, even if it hurts. Amen.